First, before we do anything, before we get into anything, I'm not going to do some stupid voices today. I'm not going to do my father-in-law. No disrespect to my father-in-law. Love you. Ben Taylor needs to catch a body right now. Ben Taylor, NBA referee Ben Taylor, needs to catch a shit in his mouth. And here it is. You know what, Ben Taylor? You know what, boys? Let's do this. What does he remind you of? So here's one for you. You know what Ben Taylor reminds me of? Ben Taylor's the type of dude, to me, I think, that if he was walking downtown, he saw a homeless family who looks real hungry and has a baby, that he would walk past and go, get a fucking job. He's that type of dude.
Taylor. Ben Taylor's the kind of guy that'll call the IRS on his mom for some Wall Street stock tips.
Listen, I ain't even gonna front, man. To me, I got no jokes for Ben Taylor. I just think he's a cuck. That's all it is, man. He's just that dude, man.
That's my second one, man. That's my second one.
To me, he's just that dude, man, that's just mad because somebody else is smashing his wife better than he is. So he just came at the Raptors hard, man. So you know what? Fuck Ben Taylor.
Ben Taylor looks like the type of dude that wears his wife's underwear on the court when he's working. You know what I mean?
Ben Taylor's the type of dude. Ben Taylor's the type of dude, like A.Rod said, a cuckold, and not because he's into it. It's because he has to be. It's his only option.
Ben Taylor looks like the type of dude who whispers the word black. Anyways, fuck Ben Taylor.
F Ben Taylor for life.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Sports Ethos Toronto Raptor podcast, and I'm your host, of course, Mr. L. Hoopo, and we're back with Mr. A.Rod, A-R-O-D, and Mr. Max P, Max Profit, you better pay me, and today's episode is L.A., big city of dreams, and everything in L.A. don't necessarily be what it seems. What's going on, boys?
Boys.
Was a crazy experience watching that Lakers game the other night.
Oh my God. Whatever God you pray to, you were praying to that God.
You know, boys, watching that game, man, oh boy. You know, the first quarter kind of indicated how it was going to go because you could see LeBron was just like, Raps got no center. Let me chuck it to AD. I think AD had the first 10 points, first 10 of 12. This guy was getting whatever he wanted, like layups, alley-oops, you know. Started to get to the line a little bit. And then I was thinking to myself, man, this is just going to be one of those games where you know the whistle's going to go in LA's favor. I think LA, naturally, they're like a top 5 team in free throw attempts. But you just could feel it, that the Raps were going to get in foul trouble, especially with like the new guys and patience and like, you know, the typical, hey man, NBA wants LeBron in the playoffs because this guy's so fucking old now, he can't play every game. So, you know, let's just give him a freebie. Like, I hated that game so much, man. It just bothered me so much just watching.
You know what, A-Rod? Usually I set the table before the one word, but you just set the table like it was Thanksgiving. That was perfect, my friend. That was so excellent. The Lakers won this game by one goddamn point. 132 to 131 with all that help. So if you were to lay it down with one word, one shot, one bullet, one case, what would you label this game? Hit me.
Oh, man.
Mine's whistle.
There's so many words, man. Whistle, man. Oh, man. I'm going to just say, like, freebie.
Yeah.
Just freebie, man, because you're trying to give out free wins to these guys. And like Darko said, man, if you're going to be like that, don't even show up to the game, man. Tell them. Listen, save the carbon tax, save the environment. These guys don't need to fly there. Keep them in Toronto, and let's just chill, man.
Yes.
Because that those kind of games, that's a sham, man. And to hear LeBron at the end of the game do that disgusting LeBron shit where he leans back and he's like, oh, well, they fouled more. Fuck off, man.
Get out of here.
I seen you cry like every single game for whistles, and I get it. You know, superstars get more calls than regular dudes. That's cool. But the way this guy was just sitting there, like, just so arrogant and like, oh, well, you know, we don't foul. That's our team. That's them. Like, bro, get out of here with these fouls, man. Some of these fouls were like, they were disgusting.
Thank you, Doug. That's outrageous. What happened tonight, this is completely BS. This is shame. Shame for the referees, shame for the league to allow this. 23 free throws for them, and we get 2 free throws in the fourth quarter. Like, how to play the game. I understand respect for all stars and all that, but we have star players on our team as well. how's possible is Scotty Barnes, who is all-star caliber player in this league, he goes every single time to the rim with force, trying to get to the rim without flopping and not trying to get faulted. He gets 2 free throws for the whole game.
Oh, Darko, we're riding with you, man.
How are you going to explain that to me? They had to win tonight? If that's the case, just let us know so we don't show up for the game.
That's what I'm saying. That was the most legit. Like, I need a
Ever.
T-shirt of that.
Yes.
Just let us know so we don't show up. Because that should be a quote, man.
That was the realest statement I've heard a coach ever say.
You know what made me lose my shit in that game, man? And I was telling you guys this in the little group chat we got going on too. Was that one play where Austin Reeves drove the ball into, I believe it was Quickly or it was or no, Thad Young. I bet.
Yeah, they waited till he missed the shot.
Popped his shoulder into him, went back, missed the shot, and then this fucking guy blew the whistle, and it was like, listen, the make or the miss is completely irrelevant to the foul. You either call the fucking foul or you don't, man.
That's it.
That's it. Like, there's no, like, oh, let me see if it goes in so I can yell and one. Like, no, you call it immediately. You do that shit in a street ball game, man, you are getting fucking slapped.
Yeah,
there is an instant fight on the court, man. Anybody who's ever played street ball in the hood, anywhere, even in like a university with a bunch of different guys coming from different parts of the city, if you do that shit and call late, you are getting slapped, man. Slapped, kicked off the court. There's a fight, something going on.
I've seen blood. I've seen blood before because of that.
No, that shit's disgusting to me, man.
Yeah. Well, what about you, Max? Like, if you could hit him with one word that bullshit Laker game, what would you hit him with? And you know what? Before you do, let's give a big salute to Darko for that. Like big salute. If I had the money, Darko, I'm paying your $25K. Yeah, if I had that for you, my friend, big salute from us. To
you are a 5-star general after that, my friend.
Yes, you are,
without a doubt. The one word would be disrespect.
There it is.
You know, disrespect. As a Raptors fan, like, you know, this is not conspiracy theory to us. We know the league is shady as hell.
Yeah, it is.
You know, as far as rigged goes, all that stuff gets complicated when you're going to get into the weeds of it. But the shadiness is clear as day. And this was one of those things where the world got to witness it with us, you know? Yeah. And it was just like, man.
You know what really bothered me? You know what really bothered me was A-Rod brought it up earlier, but the bullshit in the post game with LeBron when he was just sitting there like this, you know, believing his own hype and believing the whole King James and believing all that ego that America has built him up to be, believing that he actually is a real life king and not a human being and just a basketball player, believing that he actually is a god, that he's sitting there on a chair and he's got that little stupid smirk and no shirt on. Put a shirt on. We don't need to see that. And he's sitting there, listen, boom, and then he looks up at the camera and says they fouled more than we did. Why don't you would have got a tiny little respect back from me if you would have just spoke the truth and let the kids see you speak the truth. If he would have just sat there and went, yeah, that was a little odd that we got that many calls more than, you know what I mean? If he would have said something around like that.
That man has shown his stripes, bro. Remember when he brought Dwayne Wade over to Cleveland and then he went to the team and said, yo, get rid of this guy.
He's a snake, man. He's a snake.
Like, come on. Like, and it's a laundry list of stuff like that. He's showing his...
Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, he's showing his stripes,
This guy got rid of Lonzo. He got rid of Brandon Ingram. He's
showing his stripes. Yeah, like, that was crazy. He won
the championship.
When and then you had the crowd chanting, LeBron's gonna trade you. They were chanting that to Brandon Ingram before he got traded from the Lakers. This is the kind of stuff people go through when you play with this man.
You know what it kind of reminded me of? It kind of reminded me of their politics down there. The way this whole thing was. It was kind of like dirty and gross and Trumpish. Almost like it's like Le Trump.
Yeah.
It was really gross the way he was.
Yeah, their politics is really the world politics, but Americans, like they own it.
It was just gross.
Yeah, every country has the same version of that.
Yeah.
Two people going at each other. And they're both just as corrupt
like,
type thing.
To touch on what Ben was saying too, like it's just.
But it's intense.
Listen, man. When this guy got interviewed, I don't care if he doesn't want to admit that the Raptors, got shafted. What I would have liked to see out of him was just be a little bit more humble. Just say
that's all I'm saying.
Like,
not gonna happen, man.
Just say something along the lines of, okay, we had a pretty good night. We were trying to be a little bit more aggressive, so I think that played in our favor.
My point.
Or like we went to the line more
because
we were a little bit more like we were a little bit more motivated in that fourth or whatever. Just say something else like that. Don't like come out and say they fouled, we didn't.
Yeah.
Like, bro, get out of here, man. Like they
You
fouled.
know
we
why
didn't.
too? You know why too? Because all he's got around him is a bunch of just soft ass yes men, and there's not one dude in that crew who's gonna be a no man. Listen, that's some fake shit that you're pulling right now, and you know what? You need to start showing that you're a real man, because there's a lot of kids watching, and these kids are gonna watch that and normalize this sort of behavior, because that right there is
What happens
blatant.
is that
It's
guy always
blatant.
gets traded. That guy always gets traded. That's what happens, though.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's why I compare it to their politics. People just get fired.
Yeah, I mean,
Anyways.
it's the corruption is crazy.
Yeah,
It's absolutely crazy.
So,
man.
yeah, listen, minus D Wade, name me one player from the and being like, LeBron was the best teammate I ever had. I had such a good
I've never
time
heard
playing
anybody
with
say
him.
that.
Have you ever heard anybody say that?
No.
No. They say that about people like Russell Westbrook. They say that about
Yep.
people like Kevin Garnett. They say that about people like
Zach
Kobe
Randolph.
Bryant,
Even
Zach
Kobe.
Randolph.
Tony
Even
Allen.
Kobe. Yeah, like Kobe was an asshole, but as a teammate,
Oh, I
people
would've
have
loved to have
all
Kobe
the
as my
love in the
teammate.
world for him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
there's real dudes out there that, even though they got rough edges, when things get tight, that's when you see them stand right next to you and do whatever it
Those are the
takes
guys
to
you
get through.
want, man.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. All the
Yeah.
being polite and nice and funny when things are nice. Like, get out of here with that. Where are you when things get tight? You know?
Yeah, and be honest with me. You know what I mean? Like,
You
be
know what?
honest.
Let's get off the referee
Yeah,
thing for a second. Let me
Yeah.
just talk a quick second about something that was very small to me, but it was a market improvement on the Raptors. I've been talking a lot about how these guys have to make their own decisions, especially when they're playing on defense, right? Whether they go over screens, cut under, finding out where the personnel is on the floor that they have to defend, what they're doing within the defensive scheme. Watching quickly, this guy at least knows what he's doing, man. Because
doesn't he?
I saw a couple of times when the Lakers tried to do a little pick and roll screen action, this guy actually dropped down, went into the key, took the guy who was rolling before he even got the ball, just to
Yeah.
make it uncomfortable. Even if he was outmatched or undersized or whatever, he was there.
His
he
IQ is
to be.
outstanding.
That's
Precious
a good point.
Achua would have been on the bench. Trying to ask the coach where the clipboard is, what he's supposed to do.
I've said it before.
So-
Precious Achua's basketball
Yeah.
IQ is equivalent to a piece of meatloaf, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely. You see, the Knicks had some of the stuff that the Raptors needed.
Yeah.
When we got Quickly and the hometown kid,
Yeah,
they
RJ.
gave us what we were looking for.
what we needed.
And what A-Rod broke down on the defense right there
So
is an
true.
example of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is 100%. And you know what? To go to that point again, last night's game against the Clippers, it really showed it really did show the cohesiveness. Like, I wasn't even mad at the game last night. They played hard last night. They played together last night.
Yeah,
This
the
is what-
Clippers are just like 2 notches better than us. If they were just
Well, it's
one
talent.
notch
It's
better,
talent.
if
Yeah.
they were just 1 notch better than us, we would have
would've
beat
won
them
that
because we were
game.
playing amazing. But they're
Yeah.
like 2 notches better than us as far as just talent goes, man. We couldn't keep up by the fourth quarter.
Plus, it's a back-to-back too. No
We played
excuses,
great,
but
though.
yeah,
That was a
they did.
great
That's what I
game by the
mean.
Raptors.
Well, for a team that was missing a key component, like
Oh, yeah,
you
it was
you
a
can't
great
just be
game.
missing a center and then just play like small ball the whole time,
90% of
Yeah.
the teams, we beat them in that playing like that. We beat 90% of the teams in the league playing like that, for sure.
It was 126 Clippers to 120 Raptors in a close bout, and like I think we're all in agreement here that they look good. Can't be mad at that game, and they can take a lot of positives from that game going into the next one. So I'm not mad at all.
No, sir.
I'm just still mad at that Laker game, man. I don't even want to get out of that one yet. Just
Like A-Rod said, like you can feel it coming. Like
yeah,
if the Raptors weren't running and gunning, and it slows down, this is an opportunity for
they're
all
gonna
that
make-
bullshit to come in. And it came by the fourth quarter. It was on full blast. They weren't even trying to hide it. It was like,
you see
yeesh.
that AD flop too on Barrett.
oh my god,
Man,
When he
the
set
whole
that
fourth
screen.
quarter. The whole
like,
fourth
whoa.
quarter was just
5
a
years
whole
from now,
list.
5
whole
years
list of
from now,
bullshit.
they're gonna make a documentary on ESPN about Ben Taylor and his dirtiness, his behavior. He probably has his hand in the mob. He probably has his hand in what's going on in Vegas. I guarantee 10 years down the line, there's gonna be a documentary about this guy. Like exposed this dude.
You know what's sad though? There's a
playing
few
games.
guys that have sort of shown to be, man, there's something corrupt with that guy. Like the dude that Chris Paul beefs with.
Scott Foster.
Oh yeah, Scott
There's
Foster.
another
it's
guy.
these two guys, Scott Foster and Ben Taylor, man.
And there's another guy that I got my eye on. I don't know his name.
Oh, what's his name? I know who you're talking
about. He's a black guy. He's a black guy.
Kind of bug eyes.
Yeah, there
he
was
got
one
rushed
game,
out of Scotiabank one time.
There was one game against the OKC Thunder. I think it was Westbrook was still on the team his last year, and it was the fourth quarter, and you could
Tony
see
Brothers.
You could see the moment when this referee said, "F it, the Raptors are going to lose this game." Like you could see it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was crazy.
Yes.
It was so crazy. I never forgot that game. It was the Raptors versus the OKC Thunder, and this guy just took the game away from us because he didn't like how we were complaining about the calls. It was, man.
Tim Donaghy-esque, man.
And so nowadays, you don't just have the one guy in the Dwayne Wade Lakers era corrupt. What's his name? Yeah, that dude. That Rasheed Wallace almost beat up outside the arena at that time. Now we've got like almost 3 or 4 of these guys running around the league. And then you got all the dudes that are smart and don't show their corruption. So probably like half the referees are on this bullshit.
That's what I'm saying, but it's just like Ben Taylor just makes it real obvious. You know, in situations like this, like that was obvious. Like, get out of here, man. All right.
Yeah, it's like Trump. You know, like what or Biden. Like I'm not in control, and I don't care who knows it. Or Trump, I'm a piece of shit, and I don't care who knows it.
I don't care who knows it.
Ben
That's
Taylor,
what I'm saying.
yes.
That's what I'm saying, man. Yeah. Wow. You know what? You can also take a positive out of a negative with that one, because I can guarantee that every single Raptor on that bench and every single Raptor on that court, after what Darko said post game, is going to run through a brick wall for this man now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
we're like,
I hope so. I mean,
I guarantee
he
so.
needs it, because as a first year guy, man, you know, he needs that extra. Needs that extra little motivation.
Yeah, every coach needs a gimmick. Every coach, even the best ones, have some kind of.
I didn't feel like that was gimmicky though.
No, I'm not saying like gimmick as far as being
his thing. You're saying
being a trick or untrue.
Yeah.
But it can a real thing can still be used as a gimmick to get your team.
Okay, I get you.
Like you know what I'm trying to say?
I get you.
Every coach needs a way to get guys motivated. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, Ben Taylor, I have one more. Ben Taylor is the type of dude who calls Italians Italians.
Oh,
he's that type.
One of those. One of those.
One of those. Definitely. There's that bucket of the people. It makes me screech. Like when I hear people say Italian, I stop them. I said, "Pardon me. What did you just say?" I said Italian. I said Italian. No, it's not Italian. It's Italian. And they just look at me crazy. Like, anyways. Boys, I got a question here. So I had a friend, an older gentleman, who he knows I sometimes dabble in supplying mushrooms from time to time to people. But he also knows that, so he asked me, he said, "I'm having a bit of problems with my vigor." I said, "With your vigor?" "Yeah, my vigor." I'm like, "Oh, so what's the problem?" He's like, "I don't know if I should take the illegal blue pills that they sell in the street, but I'm having some problems with my vigor." I'm like, "Well, there's got to be some, you know what, let's go legal with this. Do you boys know of any supplement shops that maybe could help with a man's vigor?"
That horny goat weed from Popeyes, bro.
Popeye supplements.
Popeye supplements.
Get off the streets, man. Go to Popeyes.
That's what I told him. So this next episode of This or
That
is brought to you by Popeye Supplements. All right, boys, we are in LA still. We haven't got out of the Volkswagen. That's it, and we are gonna still ride here. And I got a bunch of fun ones here. So we're gonna start off with a street fight. We're gonna start this real slow. And so, since we're talking about Ben Taylor, I wanted to put Ben Taylor in the corner here. NBA referee Ben Taylor.
Beating that guy, man.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you who's gonna beat him. Another Ben Stortini, 6'3", 173 pounds, with a big red beard. Ben Stortini.
I don't know, man. I might have to go with Ben Stortini, man. He's looking like he'll come out of Don jail right now.
Man, look at this dude, man. Seventh place. Look at these legs, man. Come on,
Lucky
man.
number 7. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. So who do you got? Ben Hoopo, Ben Stortini, legal name against Ben Taylor. Who you got, boys?
Oh man, I got Ben.
Stortini all day.
I got Ben all day. I'm handing him the lead pipe. I'm right there.
No,
I got the lead pipe to hand him, the hammer, the knife, the whatever, ice pick. What do you
That's what
need?
I was gonna say. I need a sharp spoon. That's all I need. A sharp spoon. Anyways, we'll get out of that one. So Ben Stortini wins. Ding, ding, ding. All right, next one. So I wanted to do some music. I'm like, there's just like I didn't even need to look it up. Like LA is just too much music. So I thought
good vibes. Let's get some good vibes.
That's what I'm saying. So I got good vibes here. I'm going old school and really old school. And who do you think partied more? I love this question, so I wanted to bring it back. Who do you think partied more in their heydays? Okay, the Beach Boys.
Oh damn!
Yeah,
legendary. It's a legendary.
Let's see some ankles there.
I know, see that one? She's definitely ready to party, man. Yeah. You got the Beach Boys, or we got the Dog Pound.
Oh wow!
Who partied more back in the '90s? We know the '90s version of the Dog Pound or the '60s version of the Beach Boys. Who do you got, boys? Dog Pound or Beach Boys?
Man,
I'm going with a tie,
right?
man. I'm going with a tie.
You're going tie?
I think both of those groups, man, they just party their own way, but both go hard, man.
Yeah.
Like Dog Pound, you got Daz, you got Corrupt, you got Snoop. I mean,
salute.
I mean, you also got Beach Boys. I mean, Beach
Come on,
Boys
forget about it,
man. I can't
about it.
Beach Boys, man.
No sir.
Look at these haircuts, man.
No
look
sir.
At that. Like that's when if you were bald, you just said, "I'm just still gonna let it grow." And just gonna
man's rocking a turtleneck, no problem, man.
No problem. In the California sun too.
Yeah. Man. How hard you gotta be to rock that?
So hard. That's like crackheads. Though. I always say that you always see a crackhead in the middle of the summer and they got like a full blown, a big sweater on, just sweating, but they can't feel it. They just can't feel the heat.
Nobody had more style than those guys from the '60s. Nobody.
No, man, nobody. All right, so we got a tie so far. Max, who do you got? Beach Boys or Dog Pound?
No disrespect to the Dog Pound. Love them to death. Those guys are like, legends, older brothers and, you know, and homies from the neighborhood and stuff. But the Beach Boys, remember those beach movies with Frankie, what was it, Frankie Avalon? Was that his name? Remember those beach movies?
Yeah. Frankie Valley. No, Frankie Valley. I know who you're talking about, though. Yes.
The amount of girls in those beach movies, and the Beach Boys are basically that they invented that whole era, that whole genre. That's their thing. Them and the Beatles. Like, forget about it, man. Like, if anybody's seen those '50s beach movies and all the girls, well built girls.
Oh, you got the girls on the beach waxing their surfboards for them, eating mixed nuts all day, like just getting sun stroked and just ready to take a nap.
Nobody got more ass than the Beach Boys. Forget about it. Nobody.
Lazy ass too. All right, okay. So we had a tie, and then we got Beach Boys. So I gotta technically break the tie here. So again, you know what? I mulled over this one. But I'm going. There's one little thing I think a lot of people don't know because I'm going Beach Boys. The reason I'm going Beach Boys is because back in the day, I don't know if people know this, but did you know that because it's a lot about like who you party, how hard you party is a lot of who the company you keep, right? It's about not just who's in your group, but it's who you're partying with that can sometimes tell the true story. I don't know if people know, but the Beach Boys made music with Charles Manson.
Okay, wow.
Literally, Charles Manson at one time was recording with them and was hanging out with them in California.
Whoa.
So imagine those parties.
They could have got wrong party. They could have got killed.
That's what I'm saying. But since they did it and they balanced on that, there must have been some just, come on, man. Like, it got weird.
Imagine some of the situations they ducked out of. Like, wait a minute, boys, let's
go home.
let's duck out the back tonight.
This is going a bit too far.
That's the last time we partied with this cat. Oh, they must have done some crazy stuff because the '60s, everybody was getting shot, right?
That's what I mean. But Charles Manson was like dead set on becoming a singer and an artist, and it's funny too because when I heard that, I went and I looked it up, and there's a whole album he recorded. Charles Manson has an entire album of his own music.
And he got CIA connections and all kinds of weirdo stuff with that dude, man. And the crazy
like
weirdo
Ben Taylor.
And the crazy weirdo was he a devil worshiper? Was he like some kind of cult?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
he's a serial killer. That's
I
what he
don't know.
was.
Yeah, I don't know exactly everything, but I remember.
But yeah, he was mixed up in a lot of stuff. He had his hands in almost everything. That dude.
Yeah,
It's crazy how much stuff Charlie Manson was connected to.
Well, he was connected to the Beach Boys, so I'm
Shout out
giving
to the Beach Boys.
on this one. Yeah, for
Party,
sure.
party legends.
All right, last one we got is we haven't done one like this yet. Since we're in LA, which iconic movie do you got on top here? I got three gangster movies.
Oh, you got three. This is the first time you did
gangster
three.
movies. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
3 gangster movies from LA. First one, Menace to Society. All right, that's a big one. Next, Boys in the Hood. That's another big one.
Even though the youngins disrespect this movie, they need to stop that. It was not an after-school special. Stop that.
Yeah, no, come on, stop that. And the last one, Blood In,
Blood Out.
Man, and I got the T-shirt on today. I got the Blood In, Blood Out T-shirt on today for the phone. Hey, Chewie. Hey, what's going on?
So
Hey,
gangster.
look what's
So
over here.
gangster.
All right, who do you got? Menace, Boys in the Hood, or Blood In?
Are you just going
Blood Out?
best?
Yeah, which one you pick? Which one you pick and why?
Menace all day, man. Menace all day.
Menace all day. Why?
What you say about my mama?
Oh.
That's like, bro. I mean,
Man.
Lorenz Tate never ages. He's got that Pharrell gene in him. He's still looking young as hell. And
like
I
a
mean,
Smurf.
I mean, that movie was like probably
Epic.
the most gangster movie I saw. You know, at that time, at that point in time. I mean, Jesus.
It's one of those movies you probably shouldn't have watched when you were
No,
like
exactly, 100%.
12 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
man.
remember seeing that, and my eyes were like just wide open. I was
Oh
like,
my
Jesus
God.
Christ, this is insane.
Yeah.
I remember I watched it several more times, man. I think I even have it on me.
I have that. I still have the DVD.
Yeah. I think I still have the DVD, man.
Great movie. Great movie.
All right, so we got one from Menace. Max, who you got? Menace, Boys in the Hood, Blood In, Blood Out.
Come with 20. Pay me in bunches. I'm going with Menace. And the
man.
reason I'm going with Menace is because that scene where homeboy was like, you done fucked up, right? You know you done fucked up, right?
Yeah.
And then you hear Kane narrating, talking about how the whole reason they had me in the interrogation room and they were running me through all that rigmarole. I used that word finally. I love that word. But anyways, they were running them through all of that, and it's because they didn't have anything, and they were trying to get him to indict himself, right?
Yeah.
That scene kept me out of jail. Words honest to God. Words honest to God. And so I'm directly going with Menace to Society because
No,
the
you said
lesson,
directly.
the real hardcore lessons, real life lessons that help people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Menace.
2-0 Menace. I have a quick story for Menace. My mom and dad got divorced when I was 10, so I used to go to my dad's every second weekend, and this was in Sault Ste. Marie. And my dad would, on the weekends, it was 1993, so I was 13 when this movie came out, right? It was 93?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yes, sir.
so we used to go rent movies on Friday nights or Saturday nights, and we went to Bandito Video.
Renting
which is like-
movies.
Yeah, rent movies, and I saw
Renting
Menace on the top shelf. It was big and blue, and I picked it up and I brought it home. And he's like, "You want to watch this?" And my dad had no idea. Right, my dad's an old school rock star too. Like he was my mom and dad were in a band, and I was born on tour. Literally, my dad was lead guitarist, mom lead singer.
In your blood, hey.
Yeah, he's the type of dude who like calls rap crap music, like that dude. Though, you know what I mean? Like, anyways, so
you turned into your dad the way you talk about these youngest folks.
I know, it's crazy. Anyway, so he pops in the VHS, and we're watching the movie, and the first scene, like you said, what'd you say about my mama? And he just walks out and leaves me in the room for the rest of the movie.
Wow.
He's like, no, fuck this, but leaves me in
just
the room.
leaves you
and changed my life. But I'm not choosing Menace because
You're not choosing Menace.
I am going 100%, like you said, directly Menace. I am directly Blood In and Blood Out. I am just 100% going with Blood In, Blood Out. Well, no, 99.9. I'm very close to Menace, but Blood In, Blood Out, I don't know why, but that 7-hour movie, I don't know if you guys have actually seen it.
It's like American Me and stuff, you know?
It is. There is stuff in there that I learned that I've used in life that I don't know, like it's just epic, top to bottom. I don't know what it is. It's some things you just can't explain, and that movie was handed to me in gym class in high school by a guy that was on my hockey team. And he was an older dude, and he goes, Ben, I think you'd like this. And he handed me the VHS, and I brought it home, and I, to this day, still have the VHS of Blood In, Blood Out, man. Yeah, that's why I got
Blood
that
In,
t-shirt,
Blood Out,
man.
and American Me, and South Central,
Yes.
and even Colors were different kind of gangster movies, you know, more
Bibles.
Serious, longer, you know, like, and Blood In, Blood Out is the king of that type of gangster flick, man. You know?
Milkweed.
It's funny because like those are the big
U-turn.
movies back then, you know, and everybody used to talk about like all the little subset of movies like Belly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course, Shatas.
Yeah.
Belly. Oh man.
Belly might be the prettiest, like as far as just visually, Belly might be the prettiest movie I've ever seen.
Who is the cinematographer for that? Was it
That's Hype Williams.
That's
the
Hype
music,
Williams.
the
Yeah,
music
it looks
director.
like a giant Hype
It's
Williams.
a one long music video.
Yeah. It is. All right. Well, that's it. I want to give a shout out. Yes, I'll give a shout out to Dan Bespris, the lead fantasy podcast on Sports Ethos. He's the man who controls that. And I started putting a couple Blood In, Blood Out things on the podcast Twitter, and he comes at me. He's like, "How do you know about this movie?" And he's from LA, right? I go, "Man, what are you talking about?
What are you
talking about here, man? Like, I'm 40. What? Huh?" And then we just went on, and we still go on now. But like, he lives close to there, so you know the scene where they're on top of that hill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when they went to
LA?
Rush those guys.
Yeah. He's
And they
like
put on their
by there.
bandanas.
Yeah, he's by there.
Man.
Right here, this scene right here with Chewie.
Yeah,
where they the guy
I
comes
love
by
that
with the
scene,
car.
man. I
Yeah.
love that scene.
When they go in the car and they go through the alleyways and all that.
Yep.
So anyway, shout out to you, Dan Bespris. Shout out to Blood In, Blood Out and Menace. And no disrespect to Boys in the Hood, like Max said, that is not an after school special. You want to go see a dead body? Like, come on.
Yeah,
Come on
but
now.
you know, like Boys in the Hood though was like it was softer compared to those movies though.
Well,
In its own way.
it had in its own way, but Ricky was bleeding on that couch, boy.
He was bleeding on that couch, but
I want
It
Ricky
is-
to
but
go to
I mean,
school, man.
the first time you remember when Kane's cousin got popped when they're at the light when they got carjacked.
Yes.
Oh, Cousin Harold. Rest in peace, Cousin Harold.
exactly. When you see that scene right away, you're like, Jesus, man, I'm in for a serious movie, man.
Yeah.
One of the best lines ever was when O-Dog was telling Sharif, that nigga dead, man. He gone.
Oh yeah, man, that was such a sad. I cried on that scene when he at the end there. Oh my god,
That was wild, man.
oh my god, they were
wild.
gonna move, man. They're gonna change their
Yeah,
life. Like, oh my
Oh
god.
man.
Okay.
that
scene.
ending, that ending, and the ending of Carlito's Way is just heartbreaking,
Oh,
bro. Forget
God.
about it, man.
Yeah, no, see, that's like Stallone. That's like Rocky when Adrian wakes up out of her coma and says, "Just win," after Rocky learned how to read. I'm getting upset right now just saying that scene. Like that.
I can't do Rocky after number 4. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I
Well,
can't
no, that
do
was
it.
Rocky 2. Was that not Rocky 2?
No. I'm 3 and 4. That's it. I'm 3 and 4.
Oh.
I don't really like 1 and 2.
Oh, 1 and 2.
What?
That's it
1
for
and
me.
2.
No.
1 and 2 are great movies,
Oh.
but as far as rewatching goes, I only rewatch 3 and 4.
Can't do it, huh? No. 4 used to be my favorite. Drago used to be my favorite.
I mean, listen.
That used to be my favorite.
That's like watching Transformers and G.I. Joe to me. But like the 1 and 2, I like 48 Hours. I like
I love 48 Hours. Beverly Hills Cop.
Beverly Hills Cop, Trading Places. You know what I mean?
Access
All right.
only, baby.
Boys, let's go around the NBA before we go down that rabbit hole. But that was fun. The movie scene that was fun. Let's get out of LA. We're done. Thanks LA for your time and your absolute thanks for your time, Ben Taylor. Hey LeBron, thanks a lot, King. Thanks for your time, King.
We got carjacked, but
thanks
you
for
know.
that. Yeah. So let's go around the NBA, boys. So I got a couple of notes. Jump in on whatever you want, but I thought we'd talk about Ja out for the season. Also, Golden State just being the inside of an asshole right now, and the All-Star voting that's going on, which is complete bullshit. Canada, wake up! How is Scotty not even made the second round of fan voting? Meanwhile, before you voted in, God knows who, Fred Van Vliet as a starter. Like, come on, guys, wake up! Wake up. Wake up. All right. So I don't know. Ja out for the season. That was upsetting, wasn't it? That was some sad news.
It's kind of expected though, just the way their Memphis season was going. It's just been so weird for them, man. It's like they can't seem to catch a break. They look like they're just one of those teams that's cursed for the season. Like everything is just going to shit. And I saw Marcus Smart today is out for like an extended period of time. 6 weeks. Yeah, so their season is tanking. I mean, it's basically done. They're going to get to that point where they're going to start, resting their guys every other day, playing Santi Aldama down the stretch, and like I don't even know who else.
Vince Williams is going to be a
Xavier
star.
Tillman's going to be like a 2010 guy for no reason. It's not going to be pretty, man. But hopefully he recovers well. He's back next season. He's got everything going under his belt, and he's ready to go because the NBA is more fun with Ja in it, man.
It is
for sure. For sure.
I think he messed his shoulder up dunking on Wemby because when he swung on it, like no human should swing like that, and I think that's what popped his shoulder up. Well, what do you think of Golden State, Max? What do you think is going on in Golden State? Like Steph on the bench last night looked like he wanted to go start playing pickleball instead of basketball. He looked upset.
Yeah, Golden State looks like they were at a crossroads maybe 2-3 years ago, and they decided to keep the team together. Let's go at it again, and that seems to be. They got their one championship, and that was it. Like, you hear about people like unfortunately dying sometimes, and you hear about that deep breath that people take before this just life signs are flatlined, and I think Golden State has taken that deep breath.
That was what that was last night.
This season is just like, all right, it's just.
You're right, because they put it out there today that everyone is tradable except Steph.
Because they got the new GM. They got the new GM, and he's been waiting to pull that ripcord because it's not his thing, but everybody loves this thing,
I don't know. I'm gonna have to disagree with this, man. I'm gonna say this because I've been following these guys for a while now, right? And it's just because most of the time when I get home from work, I can catch the late game, and they happen to be on in the late game, right? Because the time zone changes. So I've watched them play quite a bit this season.
Yeah.
Their team, they have done incredibly well when Chris Paul is playing off the bench. He commands that second unit like no other. He gets injured, and he has been injured the last few seasons quite a bit because he's playing bulk minutes and starter minutes. This season, he was avoiding that for a while until the fractured hand just happened. The problem with that team, for me, has been Draymond's absence, going up and down in the lineup, being in and out, right? Andrew Wiggins has been absolute shit.
Yeah.
And it's really sad because he was absolutely incredible in the finals. He basically locked Tatum down, made Tatum look like a high schooler in that finals.
Yep.
And ever since that ring, I don't know what's going on with Wiggins. Maybe a lot of personal stuff. Because remember last year he missed like a whole slew of games. Like everything was going on with him. Nobody was saying.
He turned back into a pumpkin. He was suspect before. He got his shit right for a few years, and now he's back to his natural ways.
And this is not even a joke, like, because us all being Canadian, we want to see this guy on the Canadian team. And
yes,
doing
we do.
well.
We know him, and
he might not even make the Canadian roster at this point because he has been that bad. That's how crazy that is.
Yeah.
Like Philip Scrubb or like Kelly Olynyk or any of these guys are playing better than he is right now.
Mathurin,
and that's crazy to say, man. It's absolutely crazy to say.
Well, I would definitely go with a younger guy over someone like a Wiggins, who's shown that he doesn't have the heart. He did for a few years in Golden State, but that doesn't really get you out of that category to me.
The other big problem that nobody's really talking about too is like, they're missing Gary Payton, who's a pivotal role player on their team, and that's just
he's still on the team.
Yeah, and he was playing excellently when he was in, right? But he's just being hit with a slew of injuries, so that sucks.
Yeah.
The other thing that a lot of people have been talking about, Steve Kerr has been absolutely terrible in developing these young guys. Moses Moody
like the coach is there. The coach
Moody,
have
I was just
not
gonna say
even got
Moody.
a sniff of the court when they have been playing well.
And Moody's nice.
When they do play, he's pairing them together with absolute guys that cannot play with them, like Dario Saric, like Brandon Pudge, whatever his name is, the Polish guy, Podzinski, or
Paz.
Yeah,
he's okay. He's nice too, though. He's
statistically nice, but he's not that nice. Like
this is exactly why the GM is finna blow the whole thing up, because there's all that connection. It's similar to the Bulls with the coach that had with Phil Jackson. He's like, Phil Jackson's gone, I'm gone. Steve Kerr is not the answer, but he's connected to to Curry,
Yeah.
and it's just it's just like
And Steve Kerr's out of contract too. So at the end of the season, they haven't even offered him an extension. So he's basically playing for that contract right now. And
Well,
at
I don't
this
think
rate,
they're
he's
gonna.
not
There's
gonna
no
get
way
it.
they. No. There's no way they continue on with Steve Kerr. No way.
If it
This might be
continues
his
like
time.
this, I don't see why they would. Like
Yeah.
but
He's never been someone that works with the youngins, and this is what they got to do in the future.
Has that
He's
been his thing?
definitely
I
not
haven't,
the
even,
guy.
I haven't even known that
It's like a Bill Belichick Patriots thing. He's it's nice. We had a run, but it's time to go.
and let's be perfectly honest, as well as Steve Kerr has coached them in certain instances, like Curry has bailed them out time and time again, and they had KD in those finals too to bail
Yes,
them out as
sir.
well too.
Yes,
they
sir.
weren't necessarily coached better because you remember those
And they
series
had
were close in games. They weren't blowouts.
And they had the Draymond mismatch for a while. The first
Yeah.
few years, the Draymond mismatch.
know?
They've always had a serious edge on teams, and now without the edge,
Yeah. Speaking of edge, after watching the Golden State Raptors game, which we actually never touched on, but it's all good. But there was a little beef going on between Kuminga and Gary Trent Jr. Did you see that?
Huh?
Yeah, they were going at each other
stopping each
like
other?
hard. They were trying to get it off
Actually
camera
missed
too.
that, yeah.
And so I didn't put the pictures up, but if
Oh,
you
yeah,
think if
okay,
they were
I
to
remember
fight,
that now.
If
I remember that
Kuminga
now.
and Gary Trent were to have a street fight right now, who do you think would win?
Gary Trent.
Kuminga.
Gary
You think
Trent.
Kuminga?
Anybody
Gary
that goes to Duke don't know how to fight, man. Like I'm
He went to
sorry.
Duke?
Gary Trent went to Duke, man.
Yeah,
Well,
but I
I'm
think
pretty
Gary
sure we
Trent got
watched
something
all
from his
that.
dad though.
I'm pretty sure we washed all that Duke out of him by now.
No, man. That's never out, bro.
No. Well, let's see what happens though, because I do think that I'm not that excited at the idea of getting Kuminga on the Raptors
I don't want
in a Pascal trade.
Absolutely.
What did you call him?
No.
A-Rod? You called Kuminga like a Zeller's.
Yeah, he's like a Zeller's version of Pascal.
Yeah, byway.
He's horrible.
Byway Pascal.
Kuminga is like, we don't believe you. You need more people. That's Kuminga. Everything he does. If he hits a shot, we don't believe you. If he acts tough, we don't believe you.
I like
if he
that.
gets a couple of rebounds in a row, we don't
We
believe
don't
you.
believe you. Need more people.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. On that note, let's end it at that. Next game, yeah, I love that. Next game is at Utah, which is tomorrow night, Friday night, under the Friday Night Lights, 9:30 p.m. in Utah, in the land of skiing. I was gonna say something else, but whoa, I stopped myself real well right there. That was good. Don't want to get canceled.
That show Blow where those pilgrim type people who live up in Utah are moving to coke. That's a good
Yeah.
show.
Oh, I haven't watched that.
Yeah, those
There's-
folks, they seem square, like they're just in their little, living a simple life, but they put in their work just like any other buddy, like the Triads or the Cartels or
for
whoever.
sure. Okay, so what is it? What are they called? The Mormons.
The Mormons,
Right?
that's
The
it. The
Mormons,
Mormons.
the
It's a show
Mormons.
about the Mormons moving dope. Yeah, it's a great show.
It's a Mormon dope. I love it. I gotta watch this shit. So what do you boys want to see? I think it's obvious we want to see them come out of LA and just whoop on these guys. But Utah seems to be, before you guys jump in, Utah to me seems to be like a team right now that actually is starting to find themselves a little bit. They've got that Taylor Horton Tucker like little experiment gone, and Chris Dunn seems to be handling a bit of the point guard and doing it nice. But what do you boys want to see coming into Utah tomorrow?
Just don't let the pride of the Philippines go off on us, man. That's all I
Jordan
want.
Clarkson.
Yeah. Just
Oh,
don't
wow.
let that happen, and I'm good. Everything else I don't even care about, man. I mean, listen, Colin Sexton is actually ridiculous. I don't know if you guys ever remember in college he played 3-on-5.
What?
3-on-5, and he dropped 40 points.
Colin
So-
Sexton.
Yeah. There was a
Yeah.
game. There was a game against Minnesota where like most of his
Yeah, he's
team
a
fouled
scorer,
out,
man.
and a couple guys got ejected for coming onto the court. So they only had 3 players to run the game. And he
Oh, it's
played
a true
3v
story.
Yeah, and he played 3v5
Wow.
and dropped 40 on these guys.
Oh, I gotta look
Jeez.
that up.
So go check it out, man. It's crazy.
I gotta look
He can
that up.
score, man. He can score. I
he
respect
can
him
score.
for sure.
What about you, Max? What are you looking for?
I hope the Raptors just wipe the floor with these guys and make
Yeah.
them seem like a few years down the road, boys, you're not ready for this.
Yeah.
Keep working on it, boys. I hope we just show our status, like, okay,
Yeah.
we're not as good as the Clippers, but come on now. Let's
we're better
make
than
sure
you.
let's make sure we make sure we take care of Utah. That's what I'm looking for.
Would you say? I don't believe you. You need more people.
People, yeah. That's the Jay-Z line when he was beefing with Prodigy.
Oh man, I like that. Is that who it's from? No, I don't.
Yeah,
like
that's you know, Jay. You know, Jay Z.
I'm just kidding.
Jay Z's like the LeBron of rap. You know.
I'm with Nas all day. Day.
But Jay Z has his joints, man. He has his joints.
He has his joints for sure.
Of course he does. E3rd. All right, boys. Hey, we'll see you boys on Sunday night. It is Thursday now. Let's go Raptors. Wipe these boys off the court and send them back home with their package of Mormon dope. And that's that.
Hey.
And that was another episode of the Sports Ethos Toronto Raptor podcast. Wherever you're listening to this podcast, please hit like and subscribe. See that little heart? Go bang and push it. And if you want to put a face to the voice or a voice to the face and put them together and mash them together like my son does with his food at the table, go to YouTube and look up for El Hoopo and just put a face to this beautiful voice. And that's that. Bye-bye.